Hello and welcome to another Synapse video of the week. In this week's video, we are going to be reviewing how to get up from the floor after a fall. Now, this is a very important topic because about 45 to 68% of people with Parkinson's fall each year. And of those people, 50 to 86% of people fall recurrently, meaning that it happens to them multiple times throughout the year. So this is a very important topic because we want you to be able to get up from the floor, whether you're at home and you've had a fall, whether you're at the grocery store, at a friend's house. We want you to be able to safely and comfortably get up from a fall and recover from that situation. Okay, so in this, we have 5 recommendations for you. We're going to go over those recommendations and then we will demonstrate some different ways of getting up from the floor, both with using a chair or not using the chair, or with help of a person or not too. So first, our 5 tips for getting up from the floor after a fall. Number 1, stay calm. Okay, so falls are scary, usually unexpected when they happen. You might feel anxious from that event. You got a lot of adrenaline pumping through your body, or maybe you feel embarrassed if it was in a public space. So we want you to not hurry and try to get yourself up as quickly as possible. Take a moment, stay calm, because if you try to get up too soon, you're going to be shaky, and your Parkinson's symptoms are going to be a little worse, and there's a high likelihood that you are going to have some struggles trying to get up from the floor, or maybe not be able to because you haven't calmed yourself down first. Number 2 is to call for help. All right. So if you are at home and there's somebody else there, call somebody in from the other room, or if you're in public, see if you can flag down somebody that can come and help you. If you are somebody that lives alone, or even if you don't live alone, but you spend periods of time home alone, or in parts of the house where people can't hear you, and you are somebody that is worried about falls, I highly recommend that you get a life alert type product, one of those little monitors that you can wear, that will alert people to come help you, emergency responders to come help you if you do fall. Some of them have a button that you can push, and some of them just respond to the actual tilting motion of you falling down. That way, if for any reason you were injured or unconscious and couldn't press the button, people will come to help you anyway. So highly recommend that. Step number 3 is to assess yourself for injuries. Just doing a quick little body scan to make sure that you don't have any injuries before you try to get up. Okay, and we will review what that looks like here in just a moment. Step number 4 is to do as much for yourself as possible. Okay, so even if people do come to help you, let's say your spouse or partner comes in, or a friendly bystander comes to help you up, do as much for yourself as possible, because if somebody is coming in and trying to lift your body weight, and you're not able to use much of your own strength, there's a high likelihood that they might fall trying to help you up, or they might injure themselves trying to help you up, or you might get injured trying to get up and then falling down again because it was not a successful attempt. So make sure you're doing as much for yourself as possible. And that leads us to number 5, which is to practice. Practice getting up from the floor on a regular basis, at least once a week. But my preferred amount is every day that you practice getting up from the floor. Get on the floor, do some exercises, get up from the floor. Have that be a standard part of your daily life, so that this is a skill that is easy for you. And then if you do wind up falling at some point in time, you say, I got this. I practice this every day. I know how to get up from the floor. If you are somebody that does not feel comfortable or safe practicing getting up from the floor on your own, please work with a physical therapist on this skill so that you can get better at it. That is a great reason to go to physical therapy, is to practice getting up from the floor. Okay. We are also going to be reviewing a lot of different types of skills, from rolling on the floor and getting into a kneeling position and things like that. And if you find any of those moves challenging, you should work with a physical therapist to do it. All right, so let's review how to get up from the floor after a fall. Now, there are different ways in which people might fall, whether it be forward, backwards, to the side. For This demonstration, I'm gonna go forward. That happens to a lot of people. I'm not gonna actually fall for you, okay? But let's just say we wound up down here on the floor, okay? This can be a common position for people to be in, not a comfortable one for a lot of people, okay? But we're gonna follow that first step, which was to stay calm, all right? So you've fallen, stay calm. Even if you need to rest here for a moment and take a few breaths, that's okay, all right? Call somebody to help if there is anybody around and available, or if you think you can't get up off the floor, press that life alert button if you have one. Okay, then from there, we are going to do, I'm just going to prop up so you can see me better. We're going to do a little assessment. So you are going to go from head to toe and just try to gently move each part of your body to make sure that you can move each part of your body as you go. So you would move your head a little bit, move your hands, move your arms, especially if you fell forward like this. We want to make sure you didn't break an arm. And if you did, we don't want you to try to support yourself on that arm when you get up. All right. Move your shoulders, your back, your hips. See if you can move your legs and ankles, okay? And if everything's good, then we'll go ahead and proceed with getting up, okay? Again, if you feel like you have truly injured yourself, you really need to get some help. And again, whether you're calling somebody else in or you have that life alert button, okay, calling somebody in to help you. All right, so if we're feeling good to get up from the floor, what we're gonna do is we are gonna start with pushing up onto our hands and knees. All right, so from our stomach, we can put our hands down and really push up so that we are onto those hands and knees. And then from there, we are gonna crawl over to the chair that is nearby for this part of the demonstration where we are using a chair. So I'm gonna be using this one back behind me. I'm crawling over here. I'm gonna put my hands up on the chair, and then I am going to be bringing a foot up, all the way up, so that that foot is completely flat, making contact. All right, the ankle is below, just below the knee, so that I'm gonna have a nice line of force as I push up from here. And then this way I can use that leg and I can use those arms to push myself up to standing. Then I can go ahead and stand up fully from there. Or if I'm not feeling well, I can just turn and sit in that chair if I need to. Okay, now let's say that you had fallen on your back instead, or maybe onto your side, and you wound up then on your back. Same thing from here. You would do that same process, stay calm, call for help, do a body scan to make sure that you don't have any injuries before you proceed with getting up. And then to get up, you would want to get onto your hands and knees again. So to do that, we would need to roll onto the stomach. I would recommend bringing one leg up so that you can push with that leg. Use your arm on the opposite side to reach across, pushing with that leg so that you can come over onto your stomach. From here, same thing we did before. You could push up onto your hands and knees, or you could prop a leg up and push yourself up like so. I just need to adjust my screen. And then again, crawl over to the chair, same process, foot flat, stand on up. If you do not have a chair available, okay, I recommend using anything around you. You could use a wall to help provide some support as you come up, or a tabletop, something that you can crawl over to help you in getting up. Just make sure that it is a stable surface so that it doesn't tip over while you are trying to get up. If there is absolutely nothing around you for some reason, you're in the middle of a field, okay? Then I recommend, if you're down on the ground and you got to your hands and knees, then I recommend trying to slowly walk yourself up like so in a very, very slow fashion until you can get yourself up onto your feet and all the way upright. If you are able to call somebody in to help you, all right, there are some steps to be taken in which they can help you. But again, remember, step 4 is do as much for yourself as possible. We do not want somebody coming in and trying to just lift you up really fast. Okay. What I see all the time is when people fall, especially if they're in this position, let's say in an exercise class, people might rush over, oh, here, let me help you. And the person puts out their arms and then they try pulling them up like this onto their feet. And that's really hard for that person to do. And then a lot of times the person that's trying to get up winds up falling back down, or the person lifting gets knocked off balance. Okay, so I do not recommend that. If people do come rush over, say, thank you so much, please give me a moment, give me some time, and then instruct them in how you would like help. So I recommend that you ask people to bring you a chair, all right? Because if they can even just simply bring you a chair, then you can go through the steps that we just practiced. Hands and knees, crawl over, foot up, stand up, okay? If there is not a chair, or let's say first that you do have that chair, but you still need some support up, because that happens commonly. So let's say you come over here, you have a chair, and you have somebody helping you. What I recommend is you still get that foot up. Now I'm going to show my other leg this time, because what I would want is that helper to be on the opposite side as the leg that you're going to use to push up, okay? So if you have, in my case, I have my left leg up, I'm going to have the helper on my right side, okay? That's because if I'm going to lose my balance, it's probably going to be towards that side that I'm not using to push myself up. So have that come over, maybe get an arm hooked underneath your armpit and your shoulder. And as you push up, they are just helping you by lifting up through there to help you come up to that standing position. Okay. Now, same process if there was no chair. All right. If there was no chair available or no support available, but you still had a helper. Again, I recommend you get onto your hands and knees. They can potentially help you get into that position if that is challenging for you. Just instruct them how you would like help. And then same thing, I'm going to get one foot up. This does require more hip flexibility on my part, okay? And then they're going to come with their arm tucked right underneath that shoulder, and they can help lift as I push through that leg, and they are lifting me at the same time, okay? So those are the 4 different strategies: with a chair, without a chair, with the help of somebody, without the help of somebody, to help you get up from the floor. I hope that you found that useful. But remember, the number one thing is to practice, 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 so that you can get this down well, and so that it is not a struggle for you to do in your daily life. All right, thank you for watching. Have a good week.
This video is brought to you by Synapse Fitness Foundation, a nonprofit empowering people with Parkinson's to live their best lives through exercise, education, and connection to others. The presenter of today's video is Dr. Kelly Becker, physical therapist and founder of Synapse Fitness Foundation. If you found today's video useful, please click the like button and forward this video onto somebody that you think would find this useful. Thank you.